Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And I've had a lot of people tell me, I don't know why you have these rivalries with Kinobody and Strap-on Destiny. A lot of what you guys say, you guys do actually have some things in common. And you know what, I think that is a good point. Yes, I do have certain rivalries with these guys. Because there are major points I disagree with them on. But it's not like they get everything wrong. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And actually I thought it was interesting is that Kinobody actually did come in my video comments the other day, kind of defending his stance and actually agreeing with a lot of what I said in my other video. Because I did give a fair analysis of some stuff that he was doing with his training. That is the thing that people need to remember. There are things I may not like about some of these guys. I don't like the fact that both of them really kind of underscore or kind of push lower body training out of the picture. I get it because they know that there's a market for that. Upper body bros are a big market. But I know that that's for marketing purposes. And I know deep down both of them know that that is not the best way to be strong or athletic. And they both know that. That's purely appealing to a certain specific type of physique. I don't like the fact that Kinobody jumped into supplements. I think that was one of the biggest detriments he did. Because again, he's one of those guys who admitted that supplements don't work and then all of a sudden he's going to sell supplements. Guys, we all know, anyone with common sense at this point in the game knows supplements don't really work. That for the most part, 95% of them are 100% useless. And the last 5% can sometimes have a little tiny advantage. But even then, the ones that work aren't that expensive. People mix them with all sorts of stuff and make blends to make them work. I really dislike AlphaDestiny's pushing of extreme partials. All this band work and accommodating resistance for people who are not equipped power lifters. I think it's ridiculous. I think a lot of it's silly. And I honestly feel that way. That's the reason his deadlift sucked. That's the reason he didn't reach his deadlift goals. And he was even called out on that by other people, that it was him trying to do all this band work that actually prevented him from reaching his deadlift goals. And he never did reach his deadlift goals. He didn't. He failed them. He missed a 585 deadlift on camera the year he claimed he was going to get 600. He couldn't even do 585. And it comes down to that. But there are things that they both get right that a lot of YouTubers do get wrong. And I think rather than harp completely on the things I disagree with, there are times when we do need to understand there is overlap of information out there. Perfect example, something that both of these guys promote right up front that I will say absolutely 100% behind. The fact that they both promote the standing barbell press. They both promote getting really strong. I'm talking low reps on the standing barbell press. You do have Alex promoting the idea of people getting to 200 plus press. We've seen Kinobody do reps with 190. Now, I'll argue they weren't quite full range of motion, but that's kind of irrelevant. I still think he could do 200 for full range of motion, touching the chest. I think he could do it. I'm 95% sure that even if he came down and touched his chest and pressed it, he could get at least 200 for a full range of motion for at least a single. No doubt in my mind. So they both promote the press. They both promote heavy weighted body weight exercises for the upper body. It's hard to argue with that because you know what? That stuff works. How many people out there, let's seriously look at a lot of the fitness YouTubers out there, a whole lot of them who are promoting just the fluff and pump and drugs and supplements and everything else. You see a whole lot of them not doing any of this stuff, right? Seriously, look through all the bodybuilding bros on YouTube. How many of them do you see who are clearly using a bunch of drugs, clearly blasting drugs, clearly abusing gear, not just using a little bit. They're abusing. They don't do the press. They don't do weighted pull-ups. They don't do weighted chin-ups. They don't. And that's real high on my list of priorities of knowing if someone really and truly understands a lot of what's going on with training as far as being legitimately strong and athletic to go with this certain look that they want. It's very, very difficult to beat those lifts. And people say, well, what do you mean? Look at what gets worked in the standing press. If you want to talk about the way a lot of these older school golden era guys looked, a whole lot of them developed their look in large part due to doing the standing barbell press because of the way the muscles get worked in it. What gets worked in it, it does build your upper chest. It does build your entire shoulder girdle. I mean, if people want to say terms like naturally enhanced, I mean, if you want to actually even come close to the proportions that drug guys have in terms of their ratios in their body, as a natural, putting an enormous focus in the standing press would be pretty high on your priority list. You know, and I might joke about his naturally enhanced thing and all the yoke training, but, you know, a lot of that is useless, like for AlphaDestiny. A lot of that is useless, a lot of his yoke training. But he does put a heavy focus on that standing press, and that's not, I mean, you want an exercise that will build your delts, your traps, upper chest, triceps, that will do it. In addition to actually giving you strength that will carry over to other endeavors, it's a relatively athletic lift. You know, to walk a heavy weight out of a rack and press it over your head and walk it back in while standing is a hell of a lot better than a lot of this seated, silly fluff and pump people are doing for their shoulders. It beats it hands down. Both these guys are promoting that. They're promoting the press. They're both real strong on weighted pull-ups, weighted dips. You know what? Those are tremendous upper body exercises. I mean, think about what gets worked in a weighted pull-up and then compare it to all the silly stuff you see people doing in the gym. How many exercises could be kicked out of people's routines if they just put more time into getting strong on a weighted pull-up? And I don't necessarily mean your 1 rep max. Hell, let's talk about 3 rep, 4 rep, 5 rep maxes, right? Look at all the muscles that get worked. Particularly because you're moving your body through space. Yeah, we know the lats, the mid traps, the rear delts, the biceps, all that get worked. How about the extra grip work? How about building your forearms? What about your upper chest? How about extra work for the long head of your tricep? How about abdominal development? Again, look at what's happening when you go to that dead hang at the bottom, when you do that full range of motion. There's a lot of musculature that gets involved. In addition to the fact that you're moving your body through space. You're moving your body through space. I mean, truth be told, that's realistically, I would say, other than a few exercises to the contrary, you need to be doing almost all of your exercises as exercises that you can do standing on your feet or that move your body through space. And some of the best exercises do both, don't they? How about the squat? How about the deadlift? You're standing on your feet and moving your body through space. Those are some of the best overall muscle builders, size builders, just general athletic and size and strength exercises. That's what you want to be striving towards. And at least I would say 90% of your training needs to revolve around exercises that fall into one of those two categories. And anyone promoting otherwise is really promoting a lot of bullshit. They really are. But both of these guys do promote a lot of those things. Now, granted, I don't like that it's always upper body focused. But truth be told, they both promote the standing press. They both promote getting really, really strong on weighted body weight exercises, pull-ups, chin-ups, dips. They're both strong on dips. I mean, realistically speaking, those exercises I just named, do you really need anything besides those to build a massive upper body? I want people to really think about it. When you really think about it, do you really need anything more than the exercises I just listed to develop your entire upper body? Maximally develop it to your genetic limit. No, you don't. Those exercises will do it. What did I just name? The standing press, weighted pull-ups, chin-ups, dips. You can build every muscle in your upper body to its maximum potential for your frame off of those exercises alone. If you get strong enough at them, if you do enough workload at them. Absolutely. They're promoting those exercises and they're putting a heavy focus on those exercises. They both promote heavy benching. Again, heavy benching, particularly closed grip, I think has it's a tremendous place in muscle building. Now, I do it a lot because I still have powerlifting roots. I could easily replace it with weighted dips, but I think there's a lot to be said for barbell work. And I think it does have some potential programming things that weighted dips don't have, some advantages to it, whereas in weighted dips has its own advantages. But I mean, honestly, all those exercises that they're promoting, they're right. If you build your base on those lifts, your upper body is going to get jacked. It's going to be jacked. So when we start looking at it and I say, okay, I'm critical of these guys and a lot of the stuff that they do, it's because a lot of it does come around to just bullshit. That's what it comes down to. It is the bullshit aspects of it. Of, again, all the accommodating resistance and partials. That's bullshit. Right? We know that is. The supplements. Selling supplements. That's bullshit. Skipping squats. Skipping deadlifts. That's bullshit. But a lot of the other stuff that both of these guys are promoting is actually legit, and you can't go wrong by doing that. And here's what I would say with that. A lot of their followers are like, well, I did their methods and I got really good results. Well, how much of it was because of some of the other stuff and how much of it was because of these other things that they pushed? I mean, if you focused on those things, you're obviously going to get results because those things do work. And anyone who really and truly knows what they're talking about with training is probably going to push you in the direction of those things. They're going to push you in the direction of doing the press. They're going to push you in the direction of weighted pull-ups and chin-ups and things like that. Of course they are. Because they work. And those exercises will work for naturals. They'll work for naturals. They will help you reach your maximum potential in addition to the fact that they're just good all-around exercises to improve your athleticism as well as part of your athletic training. They're real exercises. They're not silly fluff and pump bullshit on a cable or a machine. They have the potential to put real size and strength on you. And so I would say a lot of their followers who are getting results, well, maybe it's because they're pushing you to get really strong on those key exercises. And that's probably a big part of what people are getting results off of who are. It's not always all the other nuanced things. It's those basics. And they do get that stuff right. And so I will give credit for that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.